Life does not always offer sweetness. There are days when plans fall apart, prayers feel unanswered, and every step forward feels heavy. The bitterness of life comes in many forms: failure, loss, disappointment, and wounds that are often invisible. Yet behind all of this, life carries valuable lessons for those who are willing to humble their hearts and open their eyes. Responding to life's bitterness does not mean denying the pain. Happiness is not born from pretending to be strong, but from having the courage to admit that we are tired. When we accept reality as it is, the heart begins to make peace. From that point, calmness slowly grows. Bitterness may hurt, but it often comes to cleanse the soul from arrogance, awaken long silent prayers, and draw us closer to the true meaning of life. Happiness is also not about eliminating problems, but about changing the way we see them. The trials we face are not signs that life is against us. They are indications that we are being shaped. Just as iron is forged to become strong, human beings are tested to become mature. When we stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start asking, "What can I learn from this?" the bitterness of life turns into a source of strength. In the midst of hardship, gratitude becomes a key that is often forgotten. Gratitude does not wait for everything to be perfect. It grows from the awareness that there are still small things worth appreciating. The breath we still take, the heart that can still hope, and the chance to rise once more. With gratitude, the heart becomes spacious, and happiness no longer depends on circumstances, but on attitude. Happiness also means giving ourselves time to heal. Not every wound must be healed today. There are processes that must be lived through with patience. When we learn to forgive circumstances, others, and even ourselves, the burdens of life feel lighter. We realize that not everything lost must be replaced, and not every failure is the end. In the end, the bitterness of life is part of the journey toward the maturity of the soul. It teaches us to be more humble, stronger, and wiser. True happiness is not a life without problems, but a heart that remains calm even as storms come one after another. When we are able to smile amid the bitterness, that is where happiness finally finds its home. Life does not always unfold according to our hopes. There are moments when the road we carefully planned suddenly breaks apart, when efforts seem wasted, and when prayers feel as though they echo back in silence. The bitterness of life often arrives unannounced, leaving us confused, tired, and questioning our own strength. Yet within this bitterness lies a hidden invitation, an invitation to grow, to reflect, and to rediscover the meaning of happiness beyond comfort. Facing life's bitterness does not require us to be emotionless. Pain is a natural response to loss, failure, and disappointment. Ignoring it only deepens the wound. True strength begins when we allow ourselves to feel, to acknowledge the heaviness in our hearts, and to accept that life is not always fair. Acceptance does not mean giving up. It means understanding where we stand so that we can move forward with clarity. From acceptance, inner peace begins to form, even when circumstances remain difficult. Happiness, in its truest sense, is not the absence of hardship, but the presence of meaning. Trials are not punishments meant to break us. They are lessons meant to shape us. Just as a seed must struggle through the soil to reach the light, we often must pass through darkness before discovering our potential. When we shift our perspective from resistance to reflection, every painful experience becomes a teacher. We stop seeing ourselves as victims of life and start recognizing ourselves as students of wisdom. One of the most powerful responses to bitterness is gratitude. Gratitude does not deny suffering, it coexists with it. It reminds us that even in our lowest moments, life still offers small mercies. A kind word, a moment of rest, a sunrise that greets us after a restless night. These simple things carry quiet beauty. By practicing gratitude, we train our hearts to focus not only on what is missing, but also on what remains. Slowly, the weight of bitterness becomes lighter, and joy begins to reappear in subtle ways. Another important part of finding happiness is patience with ourselves. Healing is not a race, and growth cannot be rushed. There will be days when we feel strong and hopeful, and other days when old wounds resurface. This does not mean we are failing. It means we are human, giving ourselves permission to rest, to pause, and to breathe is an act of kindness that nurtures long-term happiness. Through patience, we learn that progress is often quiet and gradual. Forgiveness also plays a vital role in releasing bitterness. Holding on to resentment toward others, toward situations, or toward ourselves only tightens the chains of pain. Forgiveness is not about excusing what hurt us. It is about freeing our hearts from carrying what no longer serves us. When we forgive, we reclaim our inner space, allowing peace and happiness to enter where anger once lived. In time, we come to realize that bitterness refines us. It deepens our empathy, softens our hearts, and teaches us to value what truly matters. People who have tasted hardship often develop a quiet strength and a gentle understanding of others' pain. This transformation is one of life's greatest gifts, though it rarely feels like one in the moment. Ultimately, happiness is not found at the end of all struggles, but along the way, as we learn to walk with them. It is found in resilience, in hope that refuses to die, and in a heart that remains open despite being hurt. When we learn to embrace life in both its sweetness and its bitterness, we discover a deeper, more enduring happiness, one that does not depend on perfect circumstances, but on a peaceful and grateful soul. Thank you for watching. May your day be pleasant. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because my days are happier with you.